Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. This is Zesai Herbal Soap, Skincare and Lifestyle. Here we teach people how to make soap, how to make household products, how to make things that will be useful not only for our skin but also for our homes, things that we can also use to create a source of income for ourselves. Today I'll be teaching you how to make homemade Bournvita and Milo. So we'll start. We get a measuring scale, we get a clean bowl, okay? Then I'll start with the first ingredient. And the first ingredient I'll be using is my cocoa powder. And I'll be using 75 grams of my cocoa powder. So to do that, I'll have to weigh so that I get my measurements correct. I zero out my scale and then weigh my cocoa powder 75 grams. So I'm weighing it now. So this is 75 grams of my cocoa powder. The next ingredient I'll be using is my icing sugar. And my icing sugar I'll be using 63 grams. So this is the icing sugar I'll be using. So I'm going to fetch 63 grams of this icing sugar now. So I'll zero out my scale and then weigh 63 grams. Icing sugar is being used, not granulated sugar, to give the Bournvita a very smooth feel. But if you have your sugar, since this is homemade, you're not making it for the industry, right? Since this is homemade, you can use your sugar, but icing sugar will be the best option in case you want to do this in small sachets, package and sell. Then the next ingredient I'll be using is my milk powder. And for my milk powder, I'll also be 30 grams of my milk powder, and this is 30 grams of my milk powder here. Then the other ingredient I'll be putting in is my milk flavoring powder. And for my milk flavoring powder, I'll be using 63 grams. This milk flavoring powder is one that will give our beverage a very nice scent, okay? It's the one that when you just open your beverage, your Bournvita like this, it will just be enticing you. You feel like you should take tea, you feel as if you should take much, you understand? So this is also like our flavor. Our flavor is here too. So our flavor here is milk flavor, but if you want, you can use a different flavoring. For example, some people use vanilla as flavoring. It all depends on your personal taste, okay? So this is what I'm using, my milk flavored powder, and I'm using 63 grams. So I'm still pouring it. So I'll put in 63 grams of my milk flavored powder, and now what I'll be putting in is egg white. I'll be using only the egg white, and I'll be using just about a teaspoon. Okay, you don't need to put too much. I'm using just about a teaspoon of my egg white. So this is my egg, and I'll only be using the egg white, and I'm scooping only about a teaspoon. So this is my egg white, and I'm putting only about a teaspoon. So after we finish, I mix. So I finished mixing my Bournvita. I'm going to put this in the oven for just a few minutes, okay, just enough for it to dry. Then I will now come back and show you how it looks finally. Now, before I go and do that, let me just simply tell you how you make your Milo. If you're making Milo, it's the same ingredients with Bournvita. The only difference is that in Milo, you will now use cocoa powder 30 grams against 75 grams of Bournvita. Your icing sugar, you still use the same 63 grams, it remains the same. Your milk flavor, you still use the same 65 grams, it remains the same. For your milk powder, you will now use 75 grams against using 30 grams in Bournvita. So what this means is that your Milo contains more milk than Bournvita, and your Bournvita contains more chocolate than Milo. All these chocolate drinks, it is the same basic structure. The difference is in some of the ingredients they use. Like in Ovaltine, they use malted milk powder, okay, malted milk powder. Then some other ingredients they will add in the industry, in the commercial made Bournvita that probably we do not add here, are things like your minerals. You see some of them, they'll say enriched with vitamin A, B, C, and D, vitamin E, all those things. They enrich them with minerals. Some of them add malt extracts in them, even if it's not Ovaltine. Some of them add extra malt extract. Some of them use caramel sugar. Caramel sugar is like brown sugar. That is what will also aid and add to the brownish color of your beverage or your chocolate drink. Some of them use liquid glucose. Liquid glucose could be used to give a certain texture or shape that they want, or maybe granules in their chocolate drink like Bournvita, okay. Some of them could add it as a sweetener, okay, instead of icing sugar. Some of them could add it to add texture to their chocolate drink, okay, so that when you make it, even if you decide to use your Bournvita alone, you see it looking thick. Then some add egg yolk powder instead of this liquid egg that we just added and we are now going to oven dry. Some of them buy the egg powder already dry, and they use it in the commercial production. Other things they add is starch. Starch could be used as an anti-caking agent, okay, so that the product does not cake up as it stays on the shelf before we buy. The starch could also be used as a bulk, to add bulk to the product, okay, as a cheaper alternative or like a filling, okay. Other things also include our flavor. Some, as I said earlier on, some could decide to use vanilla flavor or whatever flavor that suits the company. So now that we know how to make our beverage, I believe we can go and buy these things and make it easily at home. This will be cheaper than buying the commercial one, because in the commercial one you're also paying for the packaging, you're paying for transport, you're paying for a lot of things. But this one, if you can buy the raw materials, get your powdered milk, get your chocolate powder, get your milk flavor, get your egg, get your icing sugar, then you can now decide to make it in batches. You will make maybe only 500 grams. After 2 weeks, you make another 500 grams. You can also customize it to your taste. I've already mentioned some things you can add into your chocolate drink. You could decide to add your own extra things also if you want to your chocolate drink. You could decide to customize it and give it your own flavor. You could decide to put in some of these minerals. So thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not. But if you have, I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for my subscribers. So I'm going to oven dry this, then come back and show you how it looks finally. Thank you very much. Final product. This is how it looks after oven drying. See ya.